Welcome to BandIT. My name's Peter and I'm just going to give you a quick demonstration of how BandIT actually works. The first thing we need to do is when you sign in, you'll get the 4 modules here. What I'm just going to show you quickly is the scheduling. When you click on scheduling, you come back into the actual scheduling area, and as you can see, there are 3 dates there and we can click between them and also color coded. Before I go into this area, I'd just like to show you a couple of things that help in the future. We'll go to the settings and the scheduling setup. First of all, you put your name of the actual festival. I'm just letting it know it's AI generated information. I put the year and the days, and it will work out how many days there are between them. It will then come into this drop down menu, which is the time. So each day can have different times, and you just add the day by changing these drop down menus. The next part is the venues. You can add and remove them accordingly. The next thing is the band styles. You can add and remove them. The styles are important for the actual scheduling. It color codes the scheduling according to their style, so you can get a bit of an idea of what's happening. The other thing I'd like to show you is the bands. We come into the band area and it's telling us it's got 5 members. Members, this is where you can add members here, but what I'd like to show you is the actual band information. 2 areas. One of them is the festival status, in and out. We found in our festival we needed to keep people on the database, but they weren't actually there for this year. So you can put them in and out. If they're in, they'll come up on every menu. This next part here is also scheduling. What it is once you've contacted the band, we need to know not available all day, AM or PM per day. This here comes into scheduling because we get a report out to see that where you may have put them on the schedule but that doesn't match up these days. Right, we'll get back to the schedule. If, as I said, we've got the 3 days, if we go into the days, what I'll show you is if I delete one of these bands, there are 2 ways we can actually get bands into here. Now up here, there is only one rule to the scheduling, and that is one band can only have 2 slots for the festival. You can add another band with the same name and use it that way, but we've found that we only need it for 2 people, 2 bands, 2 slots per band. So as you can see here, this band hasn't had any slots given, and these here are the ones that are remaining, that 1 out of 2, 1 out of 2. So once you've put another one in, if I put this one into that slot, it will disappear off here because it'll be 2 out of 2. So you've got an idea of the bands you've got to select. There are 2 ways to add them. The first one is you can actually click on it and then just click the add, and you'll see it goes in. The other way we can do that is if we remove it, we can actually click the add button and you'll get a drop down menu. So you can go down here and swing doors. We can see there's 1 of 2. So that is the best way to add a band and subtract them. You can actually see here by the colors. You can see Dixieland, Dixieland, Dixieland. They're all the same color, so you get an idea of the styles for that particular time slot. Now once you've done that, the system will actually start checking, has got a check. The first check is, the first one here is bands twice at once. What this means is that you can't have the same band in the same time slot in 2 different different venues. The second one here is saying there's not enough time to go from the old church to the hub within 60 minutes, which is a time slot. This may be true if you're having the one band playing 2 time slots at the same venue. So we've got that there to help you out with that. The second issues is that musicians book twice at once. So basically they have been booked on the same time zone in 2 different bands. So you'll need to sort that out. They're in the same time zone. So this here on the 15th at 11 a.m. This band is playing in those 2 different venues. If we go down to the bottom, this here is very similar, but this particular James hasn't got enough time at 3 o'clock in the time zone to get from the hub to the old church by 4 o'clock. We give them 60 minutes so they can move the equipment and get it already set up. Once again, this may not be an issue. The venues may be right next door to one another. Not so much of an issue. Schedules were not available. This here is showing you that the day, all day, AM, PM. So we've actually slotted them in correctly. If say one of the bands said only AM and we put them on to an afternoon on that particular day, it would show up here. And here we have bands not selected yet. What that means is any band that is listed as in on this particular festival is there, but it hasn't been allocated its spot yet. Okay, if we go over to here, some of the reports that we've got. The first report here is give you a heads up of where all the bands are playing and when they're actually playing. If there are any issues, it will turn red and it will show you what the issue is. The second report, which also helps out, is the musician slots. What it does, it will show up in red and it's saying that Adam Bell has 2 slots, the RSL and the backstage at the same time on the same day. So you'll need to sort that out. And the same thing here, they haven't got 60 minutes to get from one venue to another one. You can see here to the old church, so we can't do that. So it's easy to find out where people are having any issues and you can try and sort them out. Now, they may need to sort it out amongst themselves. That is about it for scheduling. It is as easy as that to actually set up a schedule or a program for your festival. A couple of little things. We have up on the right hand side here, we have a backup. Now that date will change colour from yellow and green, and then the last one will be a week between them. So if it turns red, you're over 3 weeks from the last time you did a backup. So you really should keep an eye on that. The second thing is, if you're like me, you may need to increase the size of the font. There's a font size there to help out with that as well. Okay, thanks very much for, just one thing. Web page. This here will produce an HTML file for your website. So if I click on that, I can drop it in down there. And if I go to that particular folder, you'll see there is an HTML file for you. And this is what it'll actually look like. It'll have all of the bands that are on with the festival in alphabetical order. The next thing, it's got all the bands. It'll also highlight with a colour what style they're in. And also too, if you click on the down button, it'll give you all of the musicians for that particular band. Now it's an HTML file. You've got 2 options with that. If your site is HTML, all you need to do is upload it to your web hosting and add it to your menu. If you have a WordPress, you can add it in as an HTML on your WordPress site. So that is about it. As you can see, we've got an export to Excel. That's about it. Thank you for looking at the video, and hope to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Bye.